Good evening, friends. How's it going? It's 10 o'clock at night. You ever find yourself in your shop 10 o'clock at night? It's driving yourself nuts over a power saw that ran fine and then suddenly decided to just give it up. It's the 590, friends. The saw was funny, so I put it together. I ran it on film. You guys saw it. And then I heat cycled it 2 times. No problems. Everything worked good. And then I don't know, it's 3-4 days later. Often what I'll do, because I work during the week and I work on saws on the weekend. If I have saws to heat cycle, when I get home from work, I'll just pull right up to the shop. If I got a couple saws to heat cycle, I'll fire them up, throw them on the ground and let them run a bit. And then by weekend time, they're ready to run. So I went to do that. It was like maybe Thursday, a couple weeks ago. And I fired the saw up. It started 1-2 pulls. It started like an echo. I didn't think anything of it. I threw it on the ground. It idled. It sat there and idled for about 5 minutes. I let it get warm. And then I picked it up to blip the throttle. And it bogged like I've never heard a saw bogged before. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then it died. And I thought, maybe the rings are... maybe we disturbed the rings. Now, generally a saw like this, you don't have to heat cycle it much, but it won't hurt. So I'm like, maybe the rings were they were reseating and she's a little rich and I loaded her up with fuel. So I adjusted the carb a little, started right back up 1 pull. Touch the throttle again, dead. So now I'm like, Houston, we got a problem. Now, friends, I love showing this stuff. Sometimes it's a little disheartening, but this is legit power saw building. Sometimes saws do not cooperate. In fact, friends, I've worked on a lot of different things. I like 2-strokes and particularly chainsaws because they can be fickle creatures and you're always learning. This is a lifetime journey. Okay, so I want to go over what I did in this battle. This has been a 2-week battle, friends. This saw just was not cooperating. First thing I did, I had fuel coming out of the muffler. Okay, so I thought maybe we're not getting a good spark. I took the coil off, readjusted it, put it back on. Fired it up, it started 2 pulls. Same thing. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so I'm like, it can't be that. Pulled the spark plug out, pulled it over. I got good hot spark. Okay, it's not the spark plug. I'll put I got spark plugs here like crazy. I'll put a new spark plug in. Fired it up. It seemed to run a little bit better. But then it started falling apart again. So I thought, what is it? And it's smoking like crazy, friends. There is smoke and fuel. You can see. Here, I'll show you guys. I wiped it off already. You see the shine? You guys see it right there, okay? That was all fuel coming out of this thing. So that didn't fix it. So I'm like, okay. And I'm just reiterating to show you guys what I did. Maybe some of you can learn from it or, we're always learning. So what did I do? I pulled the carb off. Perhaps something got sucked into there. Pulled the carb out. It's a brand new carb. Shiny, clean, doesn't need a carb kit. Everything's good. Metering levers adjusted to factory height. I checked. Okay, well that was the end of that night. I continued to putter with it for a few days. Was talking to the Iron Horse like we often do on the old WhatsApp. And he said, I think maybe you have a fueling problem. And I wanted to share this because that Iron Horse, friends, he's been doing this a long time. I figure he's been doing this for almost my lifetime. And I'm going to be 40, so do the math on that. How many saws has that guy built? He said, perhaps you're lean and you're getting incomplete combustion due to leanness. And I thought, that's interesting, Harv. So I'm thinking that when guys tell me things, I don't disregard it. I think maybe, because this is where we learn. Friends, I find often when men get into hobbies, I find once we have success, say porting, we have a recipe, we kind of stick to that a lot of guys. Me, I'm always, like me, friends, sometimes I do a high exhaust roof. Sometimes I do a low one. Sometimes I widen the exhaust port if I feel I need to. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I strap her in the old Colchester lathe and do a little machine work. I find I can take bits and pieces from everybody. And that's why I welcome everybody on this channel, because it's like, you guys teach me stuff. Charles Briscoe. Hey, Charles, how's it going? He's a saw porter. He does a lot of echoes. Charles Briscoe said, you know, I remember him saying something about he's had poor fuel lines on these. I thought, thank you, Charlie. I'll check that out. Pulled the fuel line out. I vacuum pressure tested it. It's fine. It's not spongy. Fuel filter is like brand new. Again, it's a brand new saw. Check the 90. Everything's good. I pressure and vac tested all that stuff. No problems. Okay, so we know the fuel line's good. Now, friends, this is the factory impulse line on this saw. It pulled off the nipple on the case very, very easily. I stuck my tongue on it and sucked, and it pulled. I could pull vacuum out of it. I turned it over and put a little oil in there, and you could see it pumping. I vacuum pressure tested this OEM impulse line. It was fine. I put a new piece of Tygon. I buy name brand Tygon by the roll. I'm not worried about this Tygon in this application because the impulse line is at the bottom of the crankcase on this. Not really a place that gets particularly hot. We'll run it a bit and make sure. I put a new impulse line on this saw, friends, and it fired up and ran quite a bit better. So the Iron Horse was right. Thank you, Harvey. Again, I am blessed, friends. Sorry, I got a muffler on the ground here. I am so blessed to have access to so many intelligent minds. Some of them are YouTubers. Some of them own saw shops. A lot of them are just guys like me. I just ported my shop because I love to. I enjoy porting power saws. That's why, friends, I don't take a lot of builds. I don't want to take the love out of this and make it about money. I find when things become about money, it kills the art, and it becomes about how many. For me, I respect guys that port every day. And in fact, friends, I think in the future, I'm going to order a few saws from a few guys that I know that port, and I want to run their saws on my channel. What do you guys think of that? I'm the only porter I know in this area. There might be more. I've never heard of any. I'd like to run some other power saws. Okay, sorry, I digress. The Tin Man rambles when it's 11 o'clock at night. So, I put a new impulse line. The saw ran better, but still, it's kind of lazy. The simplest things will kill you, friends. You know what I did? I put a new spark plug in the saw. Although the spark I had was good, I threw a spare NGK plug I had in this saw, and friends, for whatever reason, the OEM spark plug in this saw gave it up. It happens. Where is it? I'm looking. I can't find it here. I may have thrown it out already. It's here somewhere. Here it is. It's like brand new, friends. You can't even, it's not focusing. Okay? Look at it. That's a brand new spark plug. It gave up. It gave it up. So, it happens, friends. Spark plugs. So right there, the simplest things will absolutely drive you nuts. When I used to pull wrenches, some of you don't know this, I used to be a mechanic. Before I got into sheet metal, I was a mechanic, auto mechanic, and then I did diesel. I was supposed to be a Harley Davidson mechanic. That's a long and boring story, but I decided not to. After doing it for a short while, I just decided it wasn't for me. Again, it was going to take the love out of something and make it about money. So Not really my style. That's probably why I'll never be a rich man, but I'd rather be a happy man than a rich man. I've learned that over years of working hard and chasing money, that life's too short to be, chasing money all the time, friends. I've learned that. Now, I want to run this saw. I put this saw in the wood when it wasn't running right. It felt stronger even though it wasn't running good. I could feel it. Now remember, we raised the exhaust 10 degrees on this saw. We hogged out the transfers. We did no upper transfer work. We left the intake timing stock. Okay? All I did was texture the intake and the transfers. Again, some guys don't agree with that, and that's okay. It's the thing, friends. I've said it a million times. I'm not one to argue porting technique. Which truck's the best truck? I don't know, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Nissan, whatever truck you have. If it works for you. I'm of a mind, friends, everybody runs something different. Saws are different. These are work saws. This saw is going into a production cutting environment. This saw is going to be beaten up. Caleb works 6-7 days a week. Like, that guy, he's one of the busiest fellas I know, including myself. He's a hardworking guy, and he asked if I would do this. Sure, send it to me, buddy. I'll take care of it. And this will be something that his girlfriend runs, and hopefully something that he can run too. So, sorry friends, it's fall and I had a giant mouse situation. Totally broke my train of thought. So if the video jumped a little bit there. What I was saying though, friends, I like that so many different people hang out on this channel, and there's people that don't even run power saws that hang out here. They just find it interesting. I think that's neat, and the more the merrier. Welcome to the newcomers. I have people that have been on this channel since day one, and everybody in between. We have like a bazillion countries: Sweden, Norway. I had a fella email me from Argentina the other day, which is cool. I actually work with a guy from Argentina. Germany. I got lots of Australians, New Zealand, all over. United States, of course, Canada, and I enjoy it. I wonder, friends, my power saw pants, I washed them. Well, I didn't do it. I was hanging them up on the deck and we had a downpour. If I put my regular pants on, would you guys like to do something called Texas night sawing? Caleb invented something called Texas night sawing, and it involves a chainsaw in the dark and bright lights on your truck. Would you guys like to do that? We don't have neighbors here. We can do whatever we want. Okay, I'm going to get geared up. I will bar and chain this saw. I don't know what I have for bars. Let's throw that 20 back on that we've been running on this saw. Don't worry, friends. We are going to take this thing. I'm going to make sure this thing's fixed, and then it's going to Texas. Let's bar this thing up and do a little Texas night sawing. I'll hit you guys back in a couple minutes. Okay, friends. Try and get you guys nice and close here so you can see the dealio. Okay, let's fire this up. Do a couple quick cuts. I just want to see. That'll feel better. Well, friends, I don't know what to say. It was running good, now it's breaking up again. I guess we got more issues. Let's go back in the shop. Well, friends, that did not go as planned. The saw ran good. It will not clean up under load. What does that mean? I'm starting to think that those semi-high fixed high jet carbs that these Echoes are running, not so good on a Tin Man Ice saw. I'm going to have to dig further in this and possibly change the high jet in that saw, or the main jet. Some of you guys have mentioned that. Some of you have mentioned you've ported these saws and had no issues. A few of you have mentioned that you have had issues. I don't know, friends. I'm starting to think that these carbs just aren't happy on a ported saw. The saw was pig rich stock. It would clean up under load though. Once you got it to clean up under load, it cut fine. Now, I just ran back and forth. I just rechanged the coil, the carburetor. I put the old 590 coil and carb back on the saw. It runs exactly the same. It's pig rich. It's not the fuel line. It's not the filter. It's not the impulse line. It's not the spark plug. It's got to be something to do with the carburation on these saws. Again, friends, I show you guys everything. I like to be an honest guy. And if I run into problems porting these Echoes, I didn't change the intake timing on this saw at all. So that goes to show it's getting all kinds of air and all kinds of fuel. But I think what's happening now that it's ported, and again, friends, I'm not sure. I think it's pulling so hard now that perhaps that we are pulling so hard and running at a higher RPM that this carburetor is spitting fuel like it's on sale for $19.95. It's quite possible, friends. It is what it is. We will revisit this project when I figure it out. I'm gonna have to do some more studying, talk to a few guys, and see what the remedy is. Apparently, I can change the high jet, or maybe I'll just order a completely different carburetor and throw it on this saw. I tried to put a carburetor from an 80cc Echo, like a cs590. It doesn't quite fit, so I might have to, try and mix and match parts, build a custom carb for this saw, or try and order another Echo carb that'll bolt on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. When I figure it out, friends, we will revisit this saw. Sometimes saws do some funny things, and this is going to be one of those saws. I'm going to look around in the shop and see. I have a lot of carburetors here. I need something that impulses from the top, that the fuel line faces forward. That's important. And that the choke works. But we'll dig into this again, friends. We'll just keep motoring on. When I have something to report, I will definitely show you guys. Anyhow, sometimes saws will make you pull your hair out. It's not fun when it's going on, but after you learn something, and it's that sense of I made this happen that keeps me coming back to power saws. When you run into a saw like this, it makes you learn something, and I think that's really good. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain, but we're going to get this saw beat, friends. With your guys' help and a little redneck ingenuity, I'm sure we can overcome whatever's going on. But what I see right now, the spark plug is super sooty, black, gray. I'm getting a lot of fuel out of the muffler again under load. It runs fine. It starts one pole, idles, it revs up, it's rich on top, but that's how these saws run. When I hit the wood with it, it will not clean up. I can turn the high jet off and it's still rich, which tells you something. Anyhow, friends, it's about bedtime. I'm going to go into the house and call her quits because there's not much else I can do tonight. And sometimes it's better just to pull the pin when the pin pulling's good. As always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.